Lifestyle design is something that I love because I see your life and my life as a piece of art. You can see it as a movie, a painting, a book, and you are the artist. You get to play with so many different elements and facets to design this ultimate creation and experience of your life. And you can slowly see this vision coming to fruition. And if you would look at your life right now, do you love what you see? Are you enjoying the lifestyle that you have? And even more important, have you intentionally chosen this lifestyle? Or are you living the life that someone else has given to you? Maybe you finished a study because this is what your parents, school, society told you to do so. Maybe you're working at a job that you hate just to make some money. You're living in a place where you grew up in because this is what you're supposed to do, right? So if you don't like the movie that you're living into right now, that is your life. What's even worse is if you haven't even chosen this movie yourself. And this is one of the first steps when it comes to designing your life, is taking control back, rejecting all the scripts that the world around you is giving to you, and you start writing your own. And you can make this as crazy as you want. And in this video, I'll go about the things you have to keep in mind when designing your dream life, and also how you can live this dream life right now. It all starts with creating the vision. So forget what your parents tell you, what society, school, your friends, the social media influencers, what they tell you. Maybe even the business, travel gurus online. You want to start from a blank slate because this is what your future is. Your future is a blank canvas and you can paint anything you want on this. And you don't want to give control to the people outside of you, of what your creation and your piece of art is going to look like. You want to create it yourself, and you can definitely look at people for inspiration. I highly recommend this, but let it just be for inspiration, not to think that this is what you're supposed to be doing in life, because it's your life and your creation. A very important part when it comes to creating the vision, and this is also the power behind the vision, is it gives more power and meaning to all the actions that you're taking. So let's imagine your workouts. You can see a workout just as a workout. But it's not just that. When you go to the gym to work out, it's you sculpting and creating your dream physique. The ultimate image of your body is what you're creating and sculpting in that moment. And you can see what a vision does to a simple action of going to the gym. It creates so much more action and meaning behind it. And this is related to all the actions that you're taking. Even when it comes to buying clothes. You can buy clothes because, well, you're supposed to wear something. You can't walk around naked. You can, but you don't want to. This could be the reason and the relationship you have to buying clothes. But you could also buy clothes to fit a certain archetype that you want to be embodying. You can buy clothes that are in alignment with the identity that you want to be creating for yourself. Because this is a creative expression of you. And you can see how much more powerful that vision is when it comes to, well, I have to buy clothes because I have to wear something. And this is the power of having a clear vision. So if you look at your life, what kind of country do you want to live in? What kind of people do you want to have around you? What kind of relationships with the men, with the women? Maybe what kind of collaborations are you having? What kind of passions are you pursuing? What kind of projects are you working on? What kind of business are you running? And what opportunities does this business create for you? What does your home look like? All of these things are important. Because like I said, I believe your life is a piece of art, but it's also a creative expression of you. Because you are the artist. And that's why every single detail matters. Even the colors in your home, the kind of art that is on the wall, the kind of clothes that you wear, the identity that you're sculpting. Recently, for example, most guys, they wear the same 4 to 5 fragrances. Is the ones you see in the commercials, is the ones that you can get in any single store. And I was wearing these fragrances as well. Now, there was a moment where I stopped and think about this. Is this really in alignment with my identity? With the way that I want to be creating and designing my life? And it wasn't. And this is where I made a choice to buy this more unique and special, like Italian perfume, which was way more in alignment with my mood, with my personality, with the archetype that I want to be embodying. And this is the power of creating your life and designing your life intentionally, because you get to play with all the little elements there. So if you would, for example, sit next to me in my car right now, and we would be talking about your vision, would you be able to share your vision? Would you be passionate about this? Are you the embodiment of your vision? And are you working on all these little projects? Because you can listen to this part of, yeah, I have to create a vision, similar to all the personal development content as, yeah, you have to have a goal, you have to have a vision. But do you even have a vision? Have you created the time to create a vision for yourself? This is the first step to take control back of your life. Because you choose what to create, even if it feels unrealistic. This is the starting point, where you are deciding what's important to you. And from there, you can get the ball rolling, which I'll get to later as well. The second thing that I want to share with you is enjoy your life right now. This is one of the biggest traps people fall into. They tell themselves a lie. A lie as in, I will be happy when. When I make more money, I will be free. I will be able to enjoy my life and feel fulfilled once I have this penthouse, $1 million, and this private jet. And this is a lie. This is a prison that you live into. And I'm not saying to not pursue these things. Definitely pursue all these things if they are part of your vision. But don't become a slave to these things. Because you often pursue things for an experience. You want more money to be free. But the experience can already be created from within. The real result that you're after is not the outcome. It's the shift in being that happens in the process. It's who you are becoming. That's the real result, because that shift in being will create the results automatically. It's not that your environment changes and now you have a mindset shift. It's you change and the world around you changes. You're the one in control here. And you don't want to give control over your experience of life to something outside of you, to a number in your bank account. Because that's where you completely lose control. And this is such an important part that most people are missing when it comes to lifestyle design, is enjoying your life to the fullest right now. So I'll give you an example of, let's say, 2 individuals. These 2 individuals are in the exact same situation, same circumstances. They are working at a job that they hate. They're playing video games to distract themselves. They have no ambition, no vision. They're not working out. They're depressed and sad about their lives. You can imagine what the situation is like. Let's say both individuals decide to create a change. They decide to create that vision, to create that ultimate creation of their life. They start a side hustle to be able to eventually go full-time, work remotely, and move to a different country. One individual, he's complaining all the time about how his life sucks, about how he's sad, depressed, how he's behind in life, how he's frustrated, all the challenges that he's facing, like what is the point? And the other individual, he's excited, he's passionate. He is the director of his movie. He's the main character. And in this moment, in this phase of his life, he said no more. Like, I'm going to create a change no matter what. He is taking control back. He is loving every single step along the way, every single challenge, every single hardship, because he knows that these experiences will make him even more powerful. and will bring him closer to the identity that he wants to be embodying. These two individuals in the exact same circumstances, who do you think will stay more consistent? Who do you think will get the results maybe faster or get the results in the first place? Who do you want to hang out the most? And of course, you're going to say the second individual. The first one is just being a bitch. The second one is way more powerful. And this is a clear example of how your circumstances do not have to define how you feel. Because if it does, if you say money will give me more freedom, you're a fucking victim. You're out of control. If you allow something outside of you to determine how you feel. It is not your circumstances that create an experience for you. It's how you relate to these circumstances. It's the story you create around it. So if you are the author of your life, if you look at the chapter that you're currently in your life, what would be the most empowering story you can tell yourself about the circumstances that you're in right now? Because you get to choose. And one of the most important things here is you get to experience the feeling that you're actually after, that you think is somewhere in the future. And if you want more freedom in your life, what do you think will create more freedom? An imprisoned feeling or a freedom feeling? The feeling of freedom. Of course, if you experience freedom, you will create more of it. If you experience joy in your life, you will create more of it. If you experience anger, you will create more anger. This is how the law of attraction works. And you will increase the likelihood of achieving your goals by so much if you're living in the experience already. Because it's all in your energy and your essence. You will open up so many doors for yourself. You will connect with so many different people just from who you are being, which is also the next point that I wanted to share with you. The third point that is so important, I believe the most important part of lifestyle design, is your connections, the network of people you have around you, your tribe, your team. And again, if you look at your relationships, because I believe the quality of your relationships determine the quality of your life. And this is such an important part of lifestyle design, because you don't want to have all the outcomes that you want. You want to share them with people. You want to create memories together, because the relationships that you have enrich your experience of life. And if you would do a life autopsy right now, and you look at all your relationships, what kind of relationships do you have? Do you have relationships that enrich your experience of life, that you have fun with, that you can collaborate with, that you're working on projects with? Do you have relationships that have depth, that you can travel with? Or do you have relationships just to kill time with? Because these are the relationships that most people have. They just have people around them to kill time with. And you have to be brutally honest with yourself. And this is a tough reflection exercise. Some people even think it's mean. But you have to be so brutally honest if people are bringing value into your life, if they are challenging you and pushing you to the dreams that you have. Or are you stuck in the story of, well, I met these people in school, so I can't just remove them out of my life. I have to be friends with them. I've known them for so long. I'm afraid to be lonely. This is what a lot of people say as well. The thing is, you have to let go of all the old to make space for the new, to be able to step into the new. And this is a scary thing for a lot of people to do, to let go of the old identity, the old relationships, the old vision, the old stories, the old stuff, to make space for the new. And sometimes, and a lot of times, that means going alone for a certain period. Sometimes this is necessary. And this is why the vision is so important to have. Because if you just remove people out of your life, you're like, oh shit, now what? But you're doing it for a reason. You're doing it for the vision. And this creates the meaning and power behind the actions. About removing certain people out of your life or limiting your connection with them. And the second part of the connections, of course, is creating new connections. And this is also why it's important to know what kind of people do you want to hang around with? What kind of men, what kind of women? And I believe social freedom is a key element in creating new relationships. It's something that I've personally seen in my life. Because you want to be able to create connections everywhere you go. The connections are the things that will open up so many doors for you. I see life as an open world video game where you are the main character, you have the main storyline that you're just walking, but there are also all these side quests. So when you walk around in the open world, sometimes you see a character on the side. And when you talk to that character, a whole different world of possibilities opens up for you that you didn't even know existed. And this is the same with all the people that are walking around this earth. When you talk to them, a whole different world of possibilities will open up that you didn't know existed. And to give you a few examples, I value in my lifestyle design a lot the adventurous side, the spontaneity, the variety. So when I was living in Porto and I often work at a cafe, there were a lot of, let's say, digital nomads behind a laptop working. And there was one girl that I saw, and there was something about her energy. So I decided to walk up to her, say, hi, what are you working on? We just had a small conversation and we had a very, very good connection in that moment. And she was sharing how she was going on a trip the next day to a place that I didn't even know existed. And initially she was going by herself, but she invited me to come with her. So the next day she picked me up with her car and we created a beautiful experience together. All because I said hi and I walked up to her. Similar to also when I was in Portugal, I did some real estate videography on the side. So what I did was I walked cold into all kinds of real estate agencies and I started to network. Of course, I've gotten a lot of rejections, but with some agents, I connected on a deeper level. So I got to do some shoots. And from these shoots, I got to connect with the people on location as well. And there was one agent, he sold a property for over $1 million and he wanted to celebrate this. So he invited me as well to his party and I was the only foreigner there. So I got to party at a beautiful location with him and his whole network. And he had some successful entrepreneurs in his network. And they were all walking up to me because I was the only foreigner. I was the Dutch guy that they wanted to connect with. And this opened up loads of doors for me. One connection. And you know what the most important part is of these two stories is it didn't cost me any money. Because this is such a big mistake people make when it comes to thinking about lifestyle design. I need more money to do this. And yes, money is important. Money will make it way easier, but don't limit yourself to only thinking you need more money because money is not the only currency. You also have the currency of your skill set. You can trade with the skills that you have. A different currency is also social currency, where people just want to hang around you because of who you are and your presence and your essence. A different kind of currency is your ability to network and connect certain people together. Because this creates a lot of opportunities for other people and they want to be around you. So don't limit yourself to just money and open up the possibilities and opportunities that are out there, how you can trade with different kind of currencies. And one of the most important parts when it comes to the connections that you're creating, it is not only about your achievements. People often make this mistake. They think they need to achieve certain things to be able to network with certain people. But it's not about only about your achievements. It's about your essence and who you are being. This is why when I gave the example of the two individuals Who did you want to hang out with the most? Of course, the ambitious, passionate, excited individual. It's when people ask me, how do I network with high value males and women in my life? I often give the advice of become one first, be one. It's in your essence and in your energy. People will feel this. So also to ground this connection part more into reality, into the practical side, you want to maybe even invest to be part of certain groups of certain with certain mentors, coaches, trainers, to be in their environment. You want to go to networking events and network with the people there. When you see an attractive girl on the street, you want to approach her. When you see a guy who's interesting, maybe with his style or anything, you want to approach him. You want to create connections online with people and see if you can collaborate, see if you can be of service. You want to create connections everywhere you go. And this will open up so many doors for you. You can't even imagine. And I really want to emphasize this point one last time, that it's not just about your achievements. It's your essence and your energy that people want to be around. You can feel someone's essence when they walk into a room without knowing anything about his achievements. And that's the kind of person you want to be becoming. Because from there, creating the ultimate vision of your life becomes effortless and becomes fun. Because this is, I believe, how the law of attraction works. You will attract more of the energy that you're experiencing. So one last point is motion breeds clarity, or action breeds clarity. It's fun to have a big vision of your life, but I don't want you to stay stuck in the intellectual stimulation. I want to move you towards this experiential knowing. And I want you to move into creation mode. So if you have the big vision of your life and your dream, then you want to create projects, small projects, to start creating this lifestyle. So this could be a small project around your health, maybe around your side hustle or your business. Maybe it's a side project or project around your personal brand. Maybe around certain passions, maybe around traveling. But you want to ground it into a project and start working on it. Maybe it's around your looks, like I did with the perfume, where this became a little project for me of how can I embody more of this archetype. And action is mandatory. Sometimes you create a vision of your life and you don't even know if this is what you truly want. Because I believed when I was younger that I wanted to backpack all over the world. So I went backpacking through Peru for 7 weeks. And I went from hostel to hostel, which was an amazing experience. And I also realized that this is not what I want. I did not want this kind of lifestyle. Also, I realized that I wanted to become a digital nomad, but not where I moved from country to country every 2 months. I wanted to stay longer in a country and create more depth within there and within my lifestyle there. And I only could find this out by being in action. This is the only way to realize what you truly want and what you're truly after. Action is mandatory. Motion breeds clarity. And if you think you're completely stuck in your life, if you say, well, Joy, you don't know how I can change. Like, you don't know my boss, you don't know my parents, you don't know my career or my work. Like, I can't do these things. Like, I don't care the circumstances that you're in. What are you doing to change it? If you don't like your circumstances, you can create small little projects to change it. Travel on the weekends and see if this is the kind of lifestyle that you want. Start a side hustle outside of your working hours to eventually move to working remotely and move to a different country. You can even radically change your life by just quitting your job, quitting everything, move to a different country, and just figure your stuff out. This is how I did it. I just booked a one-way ticket to Portugal, booked an Airbnb for a week, and I figured my stuff out there. You can do this as well. It does take courage. And this is crucial when you want to create your life. Don't live in these excuses. You are always able to change it. What are you doing to change it? Don't settle for the life that you're living. You already know what your life is going to look like if you keep doing the same things. You will live the exact same life, but with more regret, with more frustration, with more depressive feelings maybe even. So choose a little project and start creating that change. Don't settle for this life. So that's it for now about the lifestyle design, and I'll see you next time.